Talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, episode 169.
Alright, why don't we kick off tonight's indie episode? Indie! Indianapolis? No.
I'm trying to make a
Independence.
sloth thing, but I don't feel like it's,
Sloth?
sloth love chunk.
Oh, yeah. See, I never watched that movie.
You've never seen Goonies.
I've never seen all of it from beginning to end.
How is that humanly possible?
I was already a teenager when it came out. That's a kid's
Dude,
flick.
you were a year older than I was. I saw it. It was awesome.
I was a year older than you were. And now I'm 10 years older than you are.
Dude, don't bring mental age into this.
Yes.
Fuck off with your mental age.
Kids, this is The Mean Geek.
Seriously, like, you know
Comics
what?
podcasting on the edge of civility. There's no Angie's List for comics. That's where we come in.
That irks me.
Hey,
Like,
wait a minute.
You're a comic collector, and you're giving me a hard time about being infantile? For fuck's sake.
Sure.
Yeah, monkey huffing so-and-so?
All right, this mean motherfucker right here is the Reverend Mad Duck.
Not true. Not me at all. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this entire episode is done under protest.
William F.S. McGinnis.
Full names? Goddamn!
They don't know what the SF stands for.
No!
They don't need to.
Con, you diabolical.
And I am the Tech Jedi, non-Reverend Adrian Hunter.
You don't deserve reverend status.
We're bringing you all kinds of comic kookiness, almost weekly, but not quite. Whenever the hell we can get to it.
That's our tagline.
Where are you going with the mic, man? Tonight is indie night, so we're going to give you about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
1, 2, 3,
16,
4, 5,
17.
6, 7,
We're
8,
going to
9,
bring
10,
you
11, 12.
18 shotgun reviews about the independent stuff that we're digging or about to give up or can really fucking care less about.
All right. And we're going to try something new, which is to go publisher by publisher.
Yes, which already is a mess because you gave it to me in all kinds of fucked up order.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Look at the concern on my face.
Well, let's start with the indies. With the images, that is. Sorry about that.
All right, what do we got?
Wow, we got a lot of dark horses for once. We're going to start with Satellite Sam, which is the book that Matt Fraction just wants you to know that he knows everything there is to know about blowjobs.
And 40s television. No, that was the last one. This time you actually, our fearless hero is found that women are okay, and so he bangs one in his dressing room to tempt another woman, which is the worst plan ever.
Well, I mean, it was to tempt the evangelical host, right?
Yep.
The blonde,
Yep.
who
So,
nobody ever
right.
names. And there's a bunch of internecine horse shit with the rest of the group who are all just managing the affairs of Le Mans Television,
Yep.
and more specifically the 3:45 afternoon sci-fi classic Satellite Sam.
You have the fact that you've got one of the actresses murdering her fiance, and it's like, you're a television star, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay, well, that's not cynical. You have the gay writer getting outed by a pesky blowjob-giving intern. That's not cynical. Like, you know, it's just a dark book. It really is, and we talked about this a couple months back, it really is Matt Fraction going, you know, I'm going to out Chaykin. And Chaykin's like, fuck it, do it, I'll draw it.
It's so true, man. Everything in here is like, I think Chaykin would have done this. I'm going to turn it up to 11.
But it's nowhere near the 11 that Chaykin, because first off, it's tentacleless, the sex is tamer, like, Howard Chaykin drops bombs. This is like dropping golf balls. You know, and I like the book, but it's slow.
It is.
And the murder mystery aspect of it has been chucked for all I can tell.
They've totally forgotten about that. They're like,
But-
nope, don't care.
Our hero is seemingly starting to move forward.
A little bit.
You know, he actually stands up to the actor who keeps cutting him out on stage. You know, and he's starting to have sex, which I'm sure he's very excited about. So he's turning into his father, which is a bad, bad thing.
And he's got, in the background this entire time, he's got this obsession with determining how these photographs he inherited, so to speak, from his pop came about. Which kills me. It's like, dude, just keep looking at him. It's fine.
Your father liked hot women.
50s girls in lingerie. What's the big fucking mystery here?
Not shocking! Today on shit that should have been apparent. Why does my dad have a bunch of pictures of hot women?
The funny thing is, in the 50s, you would have bought individual pictures like that from a shady guy in the back of a bookstore. Postcards.
French postcards. That was the, kids, here's your weird fetish moment. Good Christ, we're awful people. Why do you listen to this podcast, people? Run away.
Nobody listens. What are you talking about?
They listen. You know what they listen for is the Dr. T.O. Morrow science moment.
They do. Everybody loves that. They could give a fuck what I have to say.
So, dude, I was in Walmart the other day. I know we kind of skipped this part of it, but you went right into comics, and I'm not okay with that. So I'm going to pull us back to where we normally are. Do you have anything else to say about Satellite Sam?
Not really.
All right, and we're done. And I'm in the Walmart toy aisle, and I'm going through the Captain Americas, trying to find the George St. Pierre Batroc figure so I can buy one. And I did not see one. I'm like, you better have made this fucking thing. Like, Batroc, I need a Batroc figure. And I'm like, I'm a 42? 42?
Yes.
I'm 42. Okay. 42-year-old man.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind that I don't know my own age. And I'm hunting through a Walmart toy aisle for a figure of a guy that literally no one else wants.
It's awesome, isn't it?
I'm a strange human being.
You're no stranger than I am.
Well, no, you know what?
Well, maybe a bit more.
You are not dying for a Batroc the Leaper figure.
Not a Batroc specifically, but I do troll the aisles.
Don't you? Troll is just a horrible word for these things. Like, I don't know when that became like trolling on the internet and trolling in public.
Well, no, I'm speaking of, well, see, I'm going from the trolling of, like a fishing boat kind of trolling.
Okay, fair enough.
Just slowly
slightly better,
cruising by.
Bear in mind, we are a podcast, so the internet trolling is, the parallel.
No, I'm not, who's on my bridge? No, not that kind of shit.
Fuck you, you Nazi Jew lizard.
Well, my father was Mexican, and
That's a very random Penny Arcade reference, people. Study up. This is not a podcast you can step into lightly. Do your research.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. We expect much of our 4 fans. 4, that's such a large number.
Hey, Dan, pay attention, would you? Shit. I know you're Canadian and all, but come on. So, that's your whole thing? Yeah, that's what you wanted to talk about? Was
I was sitting there, I'm like, I can't believe it. And yet I didn't stop. Like, I even had the moment of realization that I was doing this. And I still kept going. Like, as an alcoholic, you wait for your moment of clarity, and you assume that once you have your moment of clarity, you'll move forward into the light and save your... No, not at all. It's like, no, I'm like, here's a shining moment of what not to be doing. I'm like, well, fuck you. Thank you for this shining moment, but you're still not letting me fucking find Batroc, and that's all I really give a shit about. And when the Batroc video game comes out, I will play that shit to death.
They're not going to give you a Batroc video.
Hey, you know what? Who would have thought he'd show up in a major motion picture?
Once they established...
Batroc is coming.
Once they gave Cap a movie, there was no way around it. There really wasn't. I mean,
dude, there's like 45 Cap villains over Batroc. As much as I hate to admit it.
Really? They got Crossbones in there.
You got Crossbones, you got Red Skull, you got Nemo. Zemo.
Zemo. His coming, apparently.
Sin?
Strucker is coming. It might be I don't know if they'll pull out Sin right on,
I'm just going guys that you'd put over Batroc.
Oh, over Batroc? No. Sin? No.
Flag Smasher?
Flag Smasher I'd put above Sin.
You would put Flag Smasher over the Red Skull's daughter.
Yeah, because the Red Skull's daughter was a retroactive story device that happened many, many, many years after Flag Smasher.
Yeah, but Flag Smasher hasn't been... I'm waiting for U.S. Agent. That'll be hysterical.
U.S. Agent ought to be pretty interesting. I will bet that they will whip that out in 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because in 3, he's still going to be disillusioned about a lot of things. So he might end up going, you know what, guys? Go fuck yourselves.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. All right. So,
No more Commander Stevie.
Yeah, but I will have a Batroc figure. I will have a Batroc bust, and I have the I have a hero click.
Yes, a hero click.
I own 2. I gave the rest away. I had the other ones I gave to somebody for their kid because that was the safer choice, really. I own Dr. T.O. Morrow and Batroc. Both thanks to you, if I recall.
Yes, I knocked them out. I found them for you. Wasn't difficult. Just cruise around eBay for a little bit. It was fine. But we're running the risk of... No, that's not true. We're talking... Oh, yes, she was very attractive. I downloaded a bunch of podcasts the other week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we talked about this the last podcast.
Did we?
And yes, you got...
Oh, yeah.
You felt betrayed by the lack of comicdom?
Yes, I was I am bored to death by your complete lack of being fucking... Nerds, man. You told me in your fucking title...
Be a nerd.
That you would give me comics. And I didn't fucking hear comics. And I'm like, turn you to fuck off. Yes, you got your 45 minutes.
It's a Mean Geek, the only comic podcast that gives you comics. In 2 different meanings.
Right. You're a much better comic than I am, though. So, comic books.
Rocket Girl!
Rocket Girl.
I think it's going to be a long time.
Yes. From the impression I got from you was that you didn't enjoy this.
Rocket Girl is the story of a teen time-traveling police officer who ends up back in the past and uses her rocket pack to fight crime and save people.
Yeah?
If you can say that with a straight face, you are not somebody I'm going to hang out with. Like, come the fuck on!
No, that's not that. The thing is, if she was just a teen cop, that would be easier to get through for me. I was like, all right, they do that shit in... there's teen soldiers and teen spacemen and teen rocket ship pilots in anime all the time, and we let it slide, and we don't give a shit.
Do you want to list the other things in anime I don't like? Because we got time.
I've watched and read tons of anime
Far more
where
than
the
me,
main characters were teenagers. It was the time thing that I can't get past.
Well, you hate time travel.
I do.
The only time you don't hate time travel is Kang. For some ungodly reason. It's like, oh, fuck it, it's Kang, I'm in. It's like, dude, it's still... fuck you, Kang! And no one should be saying that. That is not an okay sentence.
I have never said, fuck you, Kang.
No, fuck you, exclamation point. Kang, exclamation point. Never fuck you... No, never would you disparage Kang, Master of Time. There's your title right there.
I do like Immortus a little better.
Oh, fuck off! Anyway.
No, I thought the art was great, though. I mean, character-wise, she was just a little too... I know exactly what I'm going on, and you should listen to me because I'm the cop.
And the wacky pink-haired scientist that somehow got teamed up in her antics.
Yeah.
This is a little girl powery without the eye.
Is the what?
Girl powery without the eye.
Powery?
Power E.
Power
Power dash Y.
Ah, I see. Whoa, craziness. So, we're watching Knights of Badassdom with Peter fucking Dinklage being a giant nerd.
And Steve Zahn.
Who?
Steve Zahn.
Who's that?
That guy.
Who's that?
An actor.
Yeah, I know that. What's he done?
Quite a bit.
I suppose. What's he doing in this then?
Being a nerd.
I mean, this is fucking Knights of Badassdom.
Hey, Peter Dinklage is in it.
And the guy from True Blood. The horny one that fucks everybody you can.
I've never seen True Blood.
Sorry about that. It's Suke's brother.
Aw, suck it now.
Suke. What a stupid fucking name. I love the show. I enjoy the shit out of it, but Suki is a dumb fucking name. That's all there is to that. Sorry.
This is him here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to everybody who loves Suke Stackhouse, but no, fuck Suke. And you know what? Anna Paquin, it's like her breasts are afraid of the dark.
I have no idea what that means at all.
It
Like,
means
literally.
she's like always out there, man.
Oh, dear Christ. Oh, dear God.
They're always just like, here I am.
rock you like a hurricane.
And if you like that, more power to you. But sometimes it seems a bit excessive. It's a lot excessive, actually.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What? Excessive? The amount of times that she is naked.
Oh.
And indeed, or screwing, is just mind-boggling. It's like, really? Again?
Good God.
Wasn't there some plot to get to here? Eventually, one episode, sooner or later?
Goodness.
I mean, just imagine Game of Thrones with fangs.
Game of Thrones, like, I saw the first season of Game of Thrones, that's it. And there was sex in it, but it wasn't, like, graphically ridiculous.
Oh, you just keep... One day...
Okay. It gets far worse. Because, like, everyone talks about it. I'm like, I'm watching the first season, and to be fair, I read the book. I wanted to watch the first season for that, not for, people said there's sex in it. I'm an adult. I can find other ways around that. I can't, but theoretically. And I'm watching this, I'm like, guys, like, I saw Sparta. You all need to calm the fuck down if this is freaking you out. But I guess it gets far worse then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It gets crazy.
All right.
It gets flat out, what?
Oh, dear.
Anyhow.
What an awful tangent.
That was our little aside for the evening.
Dear Christ.
We'll probably get another one in there. But, dude, Manifest Destiny is absolutely nutfuck.
Dude, Manifest Destiny is like, okay, what does the Rev like? Westerns. What else does he like? H.P. Lovecraft. What else does he like? People dying in horrible ways. Dude, nailed. It's not too often you read a book like, this is the opposite of Uber, where I'm reading, I'm like, this is pretty good, and they just like, oh my fucking God, I love this. And this is the alternate of that, where it's like, no. You thought that? No, this is what you want. It's just strange, random shit happening all the time, and settlers getting eaten by it. Like, this book literally has one plan. If whenever you hit a plot point, so what do we do now? Eat a settler.
Pretty much, man. What happens, this is, 3 and 4, right? 3 and 4. In 3, they have, at the end of 2, they reached the fort they were hoping to get to. But they found out that almost nobody was there. So, like, what the fuck is going on here? In this one, they finally meet everybody, but they end up getting attacked by plant zombie people. Which is horribly random, but effectively executed, I must say.
No, I feel like... Who wrote this again?
Let me... Chris Dingus.
I feel like he's done, like, his classic research into these kind of things, because there's a lot, if you go back to William Hope Hodgson... and some of the other Lovecraftian people, you've got a lot of, like, darker, evil plant zombie thing. Like, the idea that fungus will... Oh, yeah, totally, dude. Boats of the Glen Carrig is all about, like, people ending up on islands, and voila! Don't touch the moss. You touch the moss, you're a fucking shroom zombie. Enjoy.
Well, I'm glad you've determined all that, because that's not something I would have read. Ancient-ass horror from the turn of the century is not my bag.
That's true, actually.
I tried Lovecraft, and I was like, this is what everybody's getting crazy about? People love this shit? They
It's a
didn't
slow
even
build.
describe this. He's like, and then he saw it, and he went mad. No one knew why he went mad, because he could no longer articulate the madness that had ripped apart his brain.
Wow, nicely done. That totally feels like a Lovecraftian sentence.
Right? Doesn't it? And lo, he did look upon the beast with the cyclopean proportions, bearing a sinister complexion.
You've gone too far. Like,
That's a real sentence! That is a real sentence from Lovecraft.
You have that memorized.
Because it was so amazingly weird.
A cyclopean? God damn you, Lovecraft. Why,
Cyclopean aspect, bearing a sinister complexion.
I tried to defend you, and then you threw out cyclopean. Son of the bitch. I can't believe you have a fucking phrase from Lovecraft memorized. You don't even like the dude.
Well, I was talking with Trap about it. I read it a few years ago, and I'm like, really? This is what you read? He's like, yeah, I love this shit. And it tripped in my head. Bearing a sinister complexion? Really? Oh, yeah, I know what story you're talking about. And now he brings it up every time we talk because he thinks it's funny. Anyhow, so, yeah, attacked by zombie plant people. They fight them off. They're like, what are we going to do, man? We got zombie plant people that used to be the settlers. There's these centaur, beastie, minotaur things out there that are half Native American, half giant beast from hell.
Minnow bulls or bulletars?
Something like that.
Bulletars,
They couldn't
I like.
really figure out which one they wanted to call it. But it was highly entertaining, and I dug it.
It is a solid book.
In 4, they're just trying to figure out plans upon plans to get through it.
And now we have a ninja Indian warrior princess teamed up with a French freaky-ass peddler.
Yeah, which is supposed to be the Sacagawea character. Sacagawea, or however you pronounce it. You know, every time you mention that, somebody corrects you out in the world. Some fucking coffee house type is like, actually, it was Sacagawea.
You know what's
Like,
cool
go
about that?
fuck yourself.
The trick to that,
Sacagawea.
I know the answer to this. The trick to that is never bring her up, which is shockingly easy in day-to-day conversation. Like, the last time I had to say Sacagawea was, like, never.
But yeah, the French peddler guy is kind of weird. He's freaky. It's like he almost wants to pimp her out.
Yes, he's not a good person.
So that made me mildly uncomfortable to
Oh, god damn it.
encounter
There are
that.
berets in this movie.
That was going to happen. Oh, come on, man. You know these kind of guys. The LARPers, they always do that shit.
I have never seen a LARPer in real life. At least, you know, well...
No?
not- dude, look at me. No. No. Dude, somebody at work today asked me, like, have you tried on this ultra slim pants? I'm like, fucking...
Try that again, buddy.
Do the math, bitch. Add 2 plus fucking fat ass and see what you get. Because it ain't fucking 4. Let me tell you that right now.
Wowee.
Alright.
Right. So, we've finally gotten to the first trade paperback of Lazarus, which is the first 6 issues.
It's so sad that every 6 issues now defines as a trade paperback.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Although, you have to give Lazarus credit, this doesn't remotely feel like a storyline.
no, not yet. I mean, there's going to be tons. They're going to have to put like 8 issues in the storyline. I don't know. So there's a lot more training. There's some fallout from the there were people who had a ranch and had a flood, and now they can't pay
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
they're
damage
very
to the
bitter,
flood.
and now they're being charged more, so they decide to go rogue and ride off into the desert. And one guy brings his daughter and gives it to him because he doesn't want her to live the horrible life he's about to live. Which is like, oh, this is too bad for... This is too horrible for you. I'm going to do it. But you should go and take your chances in the fucking awful wilderness. Like, the society rules of this book aren't clear enough yet.
Not just yet.
And they need to be at this point.
A little
Lazarus,
more.
You've got, I mean, there's a lot of tropes happening here. You do have, like, the, I'm a little girl turned assassin who's a family member, but not really, like, I've seen that once or twice now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And there are some aspects of the books that are really creative and interesting, but you do need to establish what the fuck we're reading.
Yeah, they're dribbing it and drabbing it out, and I'd really like to just know, look,
And, like, I
and
like
how
the
it
slow
became
build.
that way to begin with.
I don't mind a slow build. There's some creativity to the book. It's got some interesting ideas. But at this point, 6 issues in, I don't want to be like, why is this fucking like this?
Yeah.
You know, there's enough fucking mystery in your day-to-day, like, oh, I'm not the daughter. I am the daughter. What the hell is my real origin? Which is not even a creative mystery, but maybe you should have something established.
That's what I'm saying. I could use a little more backstory of the world.
But this is much more a you book than me, though. Like, this falls into enough sci-fi areas that you're intrigued. Whereas I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, do something fucking now. Like, now. Not tomorrow. Not next book.
Shoot somebody, punch somebody,
N-O
take a
motherfucking
drink,
now.
something.
Not foul.
But you know, I think I called it even with this, and we'll be moving to trades from here. I got to look back at the purchase sheet.
You need
And
to actually
see-
buy some trades, though. That plan of yours is not taking effect yet because you keep forgetting to actually do the trades.
No, I've got. Well, I mean, it takes 6 months to get another trade out of it.
That's true. But, like,
So you know,
Unwritten
if this is the last one, then look, it's going to be fall before we get the next trade for the stuff we ain't read yet. So give me a fucking break one on this.
I'm just saying, like, Unwritten, American Vampire, the other books
Unwritten
that you
and
moved that
American
way,
Vampire, I have in fact dropped said ball.
I don't mind, dude. I ain't buying them either. I'm
That's
just saying
the truth.
that was your goal.
No, I mean, it was. But, other shit came around. It's established. I know I want them. I want to take time and money on things I'm not certain I want. Which sounds dumb.
It really is dumb when you think about it. I understand it because I do the same thing.
I want discovery.
Right. It's like, I should try this as opposed to buying this tried and true thing that I know I like. And they both have a logic, but every now and then you got to err on the, I want the one I want to read. And we haven't. It's like, no, I can't buy that because I'm too busy taking 4 books that I fucking hate home. And hey, segue, next book.
Curse.
Fuck you.
I don't believe this book, man. This book is killing me. So, wow. I don't even know where
Football
to start
hero
with this.
versus French fucking Canadian vampire. Or no, werewolf.
Werewolf. Who just gives most of his backstory, I suppose it is, kind of like his origin. He doesn't really get to the shocking part that comes next.
Yes, he goes on a quest with Indians and his friends, and a werewolf eats them all, but he kills the werewolf, but he gets bit, so he turns into a werewolf, and he remembers all the days and all the people he slaughtered, and he's come for this guy's son, who doesn't even make a fucking appearance in the book. Meanwhile, Football Hero is at the hospital, and at the same time, you have the sheriff, who is far better. You've got a small-town female sheriff who is much better than everyone else, which is not yet another annoying trope.
Well, no, that happened in... no, she's not really better than everybody else.
No, that's the awesome thing about revivalists. They're all fuck-ups. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're okay, but you're not great. You did this part well, but then, you're a crappy parent. Or you drink pig blood. Like, all of them, there's some fucked up
pig blood. There's always something in that book. There's like...
That is not to be the title, by the way.
and you drink pig blood? It might be. I'm really not certain anymore. I mean, it's only the second issue, but I don't understand what the sister-in-law's purpose is anymore.
Well, she wants to claim the child for her own to give him a better life than the crappy, no job having, I used to play football and now I just take care of my son.
Which was established in the first issue, but now what is she doing in this issue?
Well, I mean, she's the arresting officer trying to find out who keeps slaughtering the town folk. Which, by the way, they're far calmer about than I would be.
Yeah, I would expect cordons and curfews and people losing their shit and protests and why haven't you killed this guy yet?
Dude,
why haven't you caught the motherfucker?
I live in a small town. If, like, the 8th person got fucking deformed, vampired, fucking tore up...
Yeah.
I'll be sitting in the house with a fucking Uzi, which I don't own. I have to rent to own the fucking thing. And
rent to own Uzis.
8 years worth of beef jerky. Like,
Cletus is rent to own firearms.
Whatever it takes. Like, nope. Hey, mail's here, honey. Fuck your mail.
Pay it, fire it, expand your rights.
Get your goddamn Victoria's Secret bill yourself. I will not be going outside. Fucking Larry got turned into mountain jerky. Like, no.
Larry got turned into mountain jerky. You're killing me. So, Doc Savage. Because I don't want to talk about Curse anymore. Doc Savage number 3. They tell us about how Doc has lasted as long as he has and been as vital as he has because of his little invention of the plants of the atoll of wherever the fuck it was down by Tahiti.
This is a seriously fucked up Doc Savage book.
It is.
I have created immortality.
But I'm not going to give it to anybody else. That's fine.
I did not want to put it out there till I knew it worked, and I took no risks. And instead, 2 of my cohorts have a fucking bomb dropped on them by my latest douchebag villain, which blows up all my immortality notes, which I don't remember because it's a giant fucking super goddamn genius bronze guy. I don't recall how I make people not die.
Well, I mean, you can't remember everything. That's why you make notes.
Dude, no. Like,
that's not your Doc Savage?
First off, okay, just a wacky, pointless thing. Second, and I just can't stress this enough, like, you forget your girlfriend's fucking cell phone number. You forget that you had an appointment on Tuesday. You forget your mom's fucking birthday. You forget your anniversary. Like, you forget all sorts of shit that you ought to remember. You do not forget how to pick everyone not die. Like, come the fuck on.
Wow. I think you've got a skewed idea of how chemistry works.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, maybe it's incredibly detailed notes, but if you're ready, if you're a scientist of caliber, I get what you're saying. You're like, oh, well, the combination of things. But we're talking about Doc Savage.
Yeah.
Who would have retested it 45 fucking times. And the whole point of this book is that it's not established, and he's not willing to bring it out till he's completely positive on the subject matter. So we're talking extensive tests. We're talking lots of notes, lots of research.
Yeah.
We are not talking, oh, hey, I put these things two together and gave it to Puppy the Wonder Pig, and he fucking, threw off a cliff, and he just smiled at me from the ground like, can I have snacks now? Like, no. Like, some math went into this shit.
All right, so he should have remembered.
Yes!
You're killing me with this.
Plus, let's be honest, like, this is... I'm so smart, I have an idea no one else has ever had that's so fucking perfect, and then I blow it.
Well, I mean, it should have been ingrained in his brain by then, I suppose.
This is just, as much as I have enjoyed the book, and I love Doc Savage, and we know that I do, this is kind of lazy, right? It's like, oh, here's this huge epic thing that I'm going to promise and then not deliver on because now he's sad because he cost the world this by his own scientific prowess.
Oh, well.
Bad scientific prowess. Bad!
You can't berate a description of skill? Bad prowess? What?
Dude, I am the Reverend Maddeck. I can berate anything.
Well, that's true. Although, you've mysteriously chosen not to berate Badass.
I don't hate it. I think it's because a lot of life is based in the introduction. And your introduction of me to Badass was the worst thing fucking ever. And it's not. In issue 2, it's ridiculously over the top. It's not subtle at all. But I've read far worse than this in my life. As have you.
Oh, yeah.
The art is...
well, no, there's worse in a matter of flat-out quality. And there's worse in what the fuck were you thinking?
Badass is basically a combination of Deadpool and Bullseye. With a really annoying, I was a super nerd backstory.
Yes.
But you do have his robot buddy that carries around a poster of Farrah Fawcett and tries to fuck up ducks with missiles. And if you can't find a certain level of humor in that...
That was amusing. And his enemy, like Mozart Kitty or whatever the fuck her name was.
Yeah, Amadeus Kitty or whatever
that
the dumbass name.
Yeah, no, she amused me. Because she's like trying to like sonically attack him with a violin. That's just too stupid to be unappealing. Go figure. But he's just so... How can I make the guy from Wanted worse? And how can I make him more awesome? And, not everything hits everybody.
It's not a great book. It's not like I'm so inured with this thing. I'm like, holy yay for I can't wait for Badass 7. No. Like, miniseries are moments in time, and some of them you love forever, and some of them you go back and look at a year later, you're like, what? No.
Yeah,
why?
That was a bad idea.
Why was I all about this? Like, I'm a bad person.
Yes, you are.
I make poor choices.
You do.
All true.
Another bad choice, which I was really hoping would be a decent choice, was Extinction Parade. So yeah, Extinction Parade.
Extinction Parade is
it
all
made a
concept
little...
and no execution.
Right. Well, no, it made a little progress today.
Fine. Vampires finally chose to fight zombies, which was painfully apparent from day one.
Because they finally took the moment to think about where they were going to land if they treated this situation like they have the rest of history. And they showed her, the main character, whoever the fuck her is. Whoever the fuck her is? Whoever the fuck she is.
Yeah.
Through her ages as Egyptian princess, French aristocrat, 50s Grease girl, whatever the fuck she was. Okay, his jaw's getting... I knew it.
Never a good moment.
Yeah, guy just got his jaw ripped off. Let's go.
The thing that
She rallies the rest of the vampires by showing them, look, we can kill them easily. We are vampires. And he was kind of like, well, of course you could. I'm supposed to believe that all the vampires were as stupid as you? Come on, man. There had to be a couple of brighter ones in there somewhere.
the thing I like about Max Brooks' writing in this book is that he put a lot of thought into concept and effort.
Right.
Like, he really tried to present the vampires as being lethargic to the degree that they didn't think about society.
Right.
It just isn't convincing, first off.
Not
It's
to
like-
a degree, because
yeah.
they're supposed to be intelligent thinking beings.
And you know what? Like, even if you take, okay, these are not, the sparkle theory. These are not your normal vampires, which I hate. But fine, okay, like, I'm going to recreate the vampire to make the story work. At the same time, you take away anything's food source, it looks at things differently. The vampires are like, what? There's no people. They're going to fix this. The people will fix it, then we'll eat them again.
No,
Like-
that's just stupid. I mean, no race is going to think
No,
like that.
the dumb paramecium would be like, this is fucking dumb. Like, how are you going to eat an amoeba
I can't
and
believe
that
you
shit?
pulled out paramecium. Jesus.
But, I'm sorry, like, I'm going to eat an amoeba and it's fucking not here. Like, I
What's
need to do
next?
something else.
Flagellum?
I'm sure that's when you get home.
Oh!
No. So the concept just doesn't work in theory. Like, and particularly when you're talking about, and the thing that you have to remember is that vampire evolution is based on predatory behavior.
Right.
Predators do not become lethargic.
No, they really shouldn't.
No, I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to hunt and kill and not get captured, but be really lazy and lackadaisical about it. No! What? No! All right? That's how you get fucking vampire killers, and those people are fucking dillholes invariably.
They are. Remember John Carpenter's vampires?
I love that movie. That movie's so bad and ridiculous that it is beyond. Oh, I saw that in a theater.
So did I.
I
With Rick
paid-
Dalton.
$6, whatever it cost to go to a movie back then.
No, I largely enjoyed it. I'm just saying that there was no one on that team who was remotely likable. James Woods was the closest, and he was a giant ass.
The priest that they slowly tortured into becoming a vampire killer and started talking about his own wood.
Okay. All right. What'd you say there, Padre? You got a little wood?
Now I need to
get
rewatch
half a
fucking
stalk
James
there?
Carpenter's Vampires. Thanks for ruining that.
Get a little chubby?
But the fact of the matter is that it just, the concept, the idea of these really stupid predators is annoying.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I mostly understand how he feels he could get away with that, but blah. It's kind of blah.
Yeah, it's very...
And this Raulo Caceres, his art's reasonable, but it's way too fucking dark. It's so
It's
hard to
Avatar art.
interpret sometimes.
It's solid and creepy without being, like,
Clear.
enthralling. Avatar, like, it gets very talented writers and it gets solid artists, but the combination isn't always there. I loved, as you know, World War Z, not to the degree you did,
Yeah.
and I wanted this
And
to
that's
be...
the book, kids, not the movie.
Movie is not terrible, it's just slow and not
Some of it's
necessary.
not terribly bright at all. It's like, how did no one notice all those guys? They got patrols on the top of the wall. You didn't see them clambering away? Come on, you had helicopters patrolling. Nobody noticed till it was too late? Really?
In the end,
Gah.
oh, thank you.
Ooh, ginger ale, right? Ah! Booze on the way. Ooh. Is that enjoyable? The
Okay.
Goldwasser and, what is it, ginger ale?
Sprite.
Sprite. Well, I mean, let's see what it says, huh? Oh, that's much better than the
I'll
straight
totally
shit.
take one of those. Yeah, no, well done.
We love our booze. So yeah, that's Extinction Parade. It's insane. Really.
Are you finishing that out as much
Well,
to
I mean,
torment me as anything else?
It hasn't even been solicited lately, so I haven't even been thinking of it.
But it's not a book that you'll drop just because you love zombies and torturing me. So
That depends
go
on
ahead,
how
look
long
me in
it
the
takes.
eye and tell me that you haven't bought a book. Or you haven't continued to buy a book just to piss me off.
Of course not.
You couldn't even fucking keep a straight face for 4 seconds.
But I looked you in the eye.
I hate everything about you.
So do I. So God is dead.
Blah.
Number 6. They have completed the transformation of the 3 godlike characters, and they are dropping them off, and they go to find Odin. And Odin's already dead because Zeus has ripped the shit out of him. Zeus is now wandering around looking for the artificial gods, finds the big fat dead baby god, and kills the Stephen Hawking
big fat
god.
baby devil
God.
Dude, that was probably the highlight of the book for me, where Zeus is like, I can fix you, I can do these things, pray to me. And he's like, so the guy gets on his knees and says, please.
And your answer is no.
Yeah,
Hey, asshole!
that was a dark, fucked up moment. And this book, my whole thing, again, like, I'm still irked. I suppose I can kind of see the big comic reveal of, like, all this build-up to Odin and then Zeus just kicks his ass. But, yeah. And then...
You wanted Odin to win.
No, but...
You wanted more pantheons.
I wanted a slower build. I wanted not necessarily a random god to come out of left field in the one issue he's showing up in and murder everybody.
Yeah.
Like, that's never been awesome to me.
But it comes down to a fight with Red Demon God Girl and Blue Demon God Girl and Zeus.
Yeah, the other 2 gods drop down in about 4 seconds.
Right. So Zeus punches right through Blue Artificial God Guy. And in vengeance, she rips Zeus right apart. And she promises that she will, rule benevolently in a vision of love or some horse shit. And
Now,
that's 6.
All right, let's stop before we go to 7 for a moment.
Yeah.
You have 1 through 6 of this.
Yeah.
You like Hickman in theory more than in practice. Are
Yes.
you going to keep them?
Am I going to what to?
Are these entering the collection, or are these box of shite worth?
Ugh. I'm going to give it 6 months and look at them as I reorganize things.
Because any way you look at it, 7 is box of shite worthy. Because now Hickman has left the book.
And it's taken a staggeringly different direction as we go into the far-flung future.
And yet again, there are gods. Here's Australian Dream Time.
And finally we get Yahweh, and he's been killed.
That was both interesting and creepy.
Yeah. And then they have an alternate backup story where Cupid and some other doofus is running around plotting the downfall of Red Love God now.
Or
And
trying
it's
to get late. Like, it was
just
not...
not even interesting
No.
anymore.
No.
No, not really. Can't hack it. Don't want to deal with it. That's probably the fastest one we've ever done.
What's that? Review or
Yeah, with
book kill?
book kill. Right,
No,
review,
that's not
review,
true.
review.
We
We're
were
like, I don't like that. Die. Screw this book. So here is your lovey-dovey book of the month, I think, probably, right?
I think Moriarty Lives has been beyond awesome.
I knew you would.
This Moriarty has entered a situation he has no interest in.
Right?
He ends up being the caretaker to his child ward, who he does not like, because he watched the mom get murdered and he feels vaguely bad.
And he's trying to teach him how to be a fighting, skillful, thoughtful, observant man
Thing
who
is,
can
like,
take care of himself. And the kid's not having it because he's very evil.
well, his mom, it's it has a good they're really balancing Moriarty being a horrible person and the hero of the book very well.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing. Like, that's a tiny line to be walking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're looking at one of the greatest villains ever created, and you're trying to make him less villainous so that he can carry a book.
Well, you're trying to make him heroic while not making him less villainous, which is really, which is the same thing you're saying, just a slightly different. Like, the balance of it is so bizarre.
Didn't lose any chocolate, just added vanilla.
Thank you. But the fact of the matter is you've got. It's so rare for books led by villains to not suck horribly.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Like Harley Quinn, but
or
no, I'm fucking with people
I gave
about
you
that.
most of the run of the Joker comic that DC put out. One of the most horribly awkward.
Lasted what, 9 issues, 7?
8 for sure, possibly 9.
Yeah, it's not possible. It's so difficult. You've got to engineer them to be miniseries so you can get one story out, call it even, and not have things just turn to shit after a year.
Yep.
But it's what happens, So, with Captain Midnight, we have the Rumble in the Jungle, which has been used before. Which, this is about the fate of his sidekick, Charlie, whatever the fuck his name is. Charlie?
Basically, Captain Midnight has discovered that his sidekick may have something to do with
Fury Shark.
Tiger Shark, Fury,
Fury Shark.
Muppet Evil, whatever the fuck, Franklin Delano, suck ass, whatever the fuck her name is.
And Helios.
Helios, the ridiculous assassin of the sun.
What?
I don't know.
That's pretty goofy right there. I don't know where you came up with the assassin of the sun.
It's Helios. The fact of the matter is, Captain Midnight is the best of these retro books that they're putting out. It's Dynamite.
Dynamite puts out the rest of them. Captain Midnight, however, is Dark Horse.
Oh, so Miss Fury and the Blind Bat.
Those are all Dynamite.
Black Bat. Okay. Captain Midnight has a real slower build while moving forward. Like, the Skyman issues were horrible.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of those two.
And the fact of the matter is, part of that was because they were trying to build a new Skyman book, so they used that as a jumping off point.
Right.
Which is always historically shitty as hell. And it's like, oh, hey, particularly when you do it this early. Like, oh, Captain Midnight, issue 6. Let's break a new book off it.
Yeah, usually you spin off when people have established that they like the character.
Right. It's like, oh, hey, Ghost Rider team up with Wolverine. Oh, Ghost Rider's popular again. No,
No.
6 whole issues. Let's do a spin-off. Dude,
Too soon.
That's some fucking Mork and Mindy shit right there.
Mork and Mindy. No.
No, hell no.
What? But there must have been something else happening in this fucking...
Well,
no, it's just a lot of fights and chasing each other around in the jungle, really.
No, it's an interesting build. I think Captain Midnight has potential. It's one of those books, like, I think about not wanting to read, and then you think about not... we're never on the same page because there is enough of the classic Avenger Shadow feel to it.
Right. And there are some issues that are just flat out better than others.
Right.
And when you've got 8 in, you really should have striven to have more better ones than mediocre ones.
And overall,
but it's been kind of flip-flop most of the time.
It's a decent build. It's moving slowly, but not so slowly that you're frustrated with it.
Right.
There's some creativity to it and some well-thought-out ideas. And then every now and then you throw on the giant Skyman or I'm better than everyone. It's not a perfect book, but there's some really good aspects to it.
Yeah. I can see that. And now we take our little turn into brown coat dumb.
I need you to talk about this because I am not sure why I even read these.
I read it because I do like Firefly. I did like Serenity. And I felt that if they can have a decent story afterward, which I also felt was going to be difficult, then it would probably be worth reading. Unfortunately, it flies straight out of the end where Zoe is pregnant with Wash's kid. So
Which I guess was established in a one-shot somewhere else.
probably.
In the letter page, and yeah, I'm that guy.
Well, I mean-
it reveals that Patton Oswalt wrote a story in which he had been requested by Whedon to have Zoe be pregnant.
Oh, all right. Well, you knew more than I did. So they're still running around. They're still trying to be bad guys. Except Jane has run away, and Inara has lost her commission to be a companion, and
they've
everybody
finally
else is
hooked
just
up.
like, we're hungry.
Get a job.
So they're just kind of floating around, and
At
at one point, Zoe does go into the hospital. And they're like, well, we've got them now because one of their number is going to be stuck in labor, so we can track down the rest of them by using her as leverage. Really? And I never really tracked what was going on with Jane and his blue-haired, spiky girl.
Jane had left the group, and basically they want Mal to be the leader of some sort of rebellion thing. So they go to Jane with a ton of money, so he immediately is like, oh, yeah, I'll find him for you, because Jane loves money.
Yep.
And then finds out that the crew's in real peril, and since they care about him, or he cares about them, wants to help, but nobody trusts him because he sold them out for money.
Right. Well, which, I mean, they should know that if they just find enough dough, everything will be hunky-dory again. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult. They're getting all butthurt because they were betrayed.
Butthurt? Jesus H. Christ.
Isn't that the common parlance now?
I have no idea. Me and the common parlance have never gotten along, ever. It is an issue of degrees. There are some really cool... I love it. Serenity is a world that did not get developed enough, so it's a lot of open space.
Yeah.
But this is like the early Dark Horse Star Wars, where you're like, wait,
I want
concept fail.
I want to like it because it's Star Wars, but
what the hell are you? What the hell are you?
it just it doesn't even seem rushed. It just seems kind of
The art did not overly help it either.
No, not at all. It's
when-
not its own story. That's another big thing.
When you're having a hard time telling who people are, and there are only 6 of them,
Yeah.
and none of them look alike, you have not nailed what we're going for here.
No. And, River is she nuts? Is she not nuts now? It was hard to tell.
She's the new pilot, I know this.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me the new booze. Come on. She's the new pilot because you had to put that in there because it was the last scene in the movie.
Well, also, they don't have one otherwise. Let's not forget that key
Well,
factor.
I mean, Mal can pilot. I mean, who'd think was teaching River? But he doesn't like to because he's the captain.
Also, he's probably not that good at it. Mal does a lot of things
no.
that he's mediocre at.
Yeah, Mal is not exactly a paragon of skill and...
He's excellent at mouthing off and shooting people. Like,
Yes.
these are the skills that he carries full time. The rest of them are, like, just kind of picked up.
And we just lost, 15 Firefly friends.
3-1.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, that is Serenity. And I'm not particularly impressed with it. And Zach needs to talk to his brother a little bit more when he's writing. And, I really had hoped that this story would be a standalone next adventure kind of thing.
Right.
Instead of let's spin it out and see what the consequences of the movie were. Because that's what you'd
Whedon does with his
expect.
comics, though. Like Buffy, it's by seasons. Either they're building to a Serenity season 2 or season 1.5.
For real. But if they did one of those, they would get that story over with, which this may be, granted. But then they'd go on to some original stories. And the thing is, Serenity wrapped up things pretty fucking nicely. Pretty neatly. They killed off some people, what's his fuck and Inara were, Mal and Inara were obvious now.
They still weren't resolved. The only thing that was obvious was the Kaylee and Doc. Simon?
Simon.
Holy shit! I can't believe I got that right. You're shocked too.
That one a little bit, because I was on the cusp of forgetting it.
Well, because he's the most forgettable thing on television ever.
He really is. He was a boring character.
I'm a pretty doctor.
He's like, I'm not going to do anything
spent.
because I want to protect River. Well, you're on the same ship. Go ahead, do what you want with Kaylee.
Well, you know what? He might have been fine if everyone else wasn't ridiculously character driven.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he's out. I'm sorry.
I try to not say what I wanted was, because I'm never going to get what I really want. And none of us ever really know what we wanted out of a book until we don't get it.
I totally know what I want from a book.
Yeah.
Space monkeys.
But and see, when do you get space monkeys?
Like, never.
Exactly! So even when you do know what you want from a book, you're still not going to get it because your expectations are not what the writer wants to give us.
Space monkeys. That shouldn't be hard.
Somebody will give you space monkeys one day, and then I'll just have to go.
Justice League Annuals did. You own it now, because
That was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, I need more space monkeys than that.
So in The Star Wars, number 5, luckily there's only 3 of these left, George Lucas's Avatar hands over a floppy disk for his identity papers, which amused the shit out of me. It couldn't be... You just know the artist is like, what can we use to make it look like science fiction? What's on my desk?
This book just irks the ever-loving shit out of me. I'm sorry. Between Swamp Solo and Biggs' I Live in a Box, the moment where Princess Leia's like, I love you. Shut up. And then Luke or whoever it is like, oh, I love her too.
I have a hard time differentiating the characters. I'm like, who the fuck is White Sun? Which one's White Sun? And Luke Skywalker is the old George Lucas guy. And Anakin Starkiller is the... See, and I'm trying to work past all this and not think that way when I read it. It's so fucking hard.
All this book does is prove that midichlorians make sense to George Lucas. Like, that's what I'm getting from it. If this was the original screenplay, then fucking midichlorians are fucking genius. Like, get away from me.
To me. They totally make sense to me. As an individual sci-fi concept. I don't think they really fit in Star Wars, but I think that if you threw I think if you threw midichlorians into any Heinlein book, people would have accepted it and
I literally knew
say,
you were going to go to Heinlein. Because it is a concept of... Lucas is not a scientist, he's an entertainer. And I have no judgment negative to that whatsoever. I'm all about him being entertaining. Because when he's entertaining, he's fucking awesome. When he thinks, shit goes badly. I think I can make a movie out of a duck comic.
Now, to be fair...
Whereas I know Running Away from a Rock is awesome. Raiders of the Lost Ark, amazing. Howard the Duck, monkey piss.
So they escape. They escape on a rebel blockade runner.
And they recapture the twins that they locked in boxes and handed over to the fucking Empire somehow.
And they're off to Ofuchi.
Gigababa. Gigababa. Gigababa.
You know, it's so difficult to read this and not just have everything you're thinking of filled with the movies.
Dude, it feels it feels less like the original screenplay as opposed to alternate fiction, like one of those horrible
fanfics.
Stan Lee just imagine Star Wars. Batman is a professional wrestler who dresses like a bat. Just imagine Star Wars. No, I choose not to imagine that.
Yes, I see exactly what you're saying there, and it kind of makes me a little nutsy. And I really want to be charitable to the book.
I don't.
It's so hard. I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to be?
I'm not a charitable person.
aside from that.
That's enough.
Oh, well, then fuck it. Brian Wood's Star Wars. Number 14.
In which we continue, Vader goes on a secret quest that ends up shitty.
Well, yeah, we start off with a flashback of the battle with Obi-Wan on the Death Star.
With a little more dialogue than ever
A
before.
lot more dialogue. You figure it was probably telepathic. Or, they were saying it when they were doing all the cut back scenes where Luke was shooting things.
All I know is those lightsabers are really loud.
They had time to hear.
Yeah. I mean,
they're trained to hear over it. They've been working with lightsabers their entire lives. Of course, they know how to converse over
that actually
the
brings
clash
up a good
of
point.
lightsabers.
Don't you feel like every Jedi should be missing at least one finger?
You would, yes, absolutely.
Like, wouldn't it, like, the Star Wars
They
universe...
should look like fucking Yakuza men.
Yep. Like, fucking digits, man.
But no, everybody's perfectly fine in most circumstances. And I guess, if you train from 5 up with training sabers, and those things give you one fuck of an electrostatic shock every time you touch the blade, you'll learn real fucking fast not to touch the blade.
Dude, you've cooked for years, and you still cut yourself in the kitchen once in a while.
Yeah. Now imagine it with a giant...
fucking space laser. And
giant 3.5 foot length of plasma.
Dude, where the hell is your knee? I'm sorry, you gave me a lightsaber. Shit was going to go badly. And then when I got it, you gave me one with one fucking science blade on either side. You're lucky I have ears, shitbird.
So, the Black Ops team and Vader actually end up going to Alderaan, and the poor lieutenant is just like, holy shit, you really did blow up a whole planet. I'm kind of shocked. And Vader's thinking, yeah, dummy. Fucking Sith.
I am Darth Vader. All right? This whole book is about reestablishing me as Darth Vader. I'm not lost command. Oh, I got lost in space again. Wacky Darth Vader antics. No, I'm fucking Susan B. Badass, and I'm here to kick some shit.
But the point of being in the Alderaan system is they're after Rogarin, who was the Alderaanian lore keeper, I guess, since he's raising the last tree from Alderaan in space.
Well, basically, they're tracking rebels. They're trying to find Leia. They're trying to find Luke. They're trying to find, key characters.
Yep.
What they end up with is a fat guy in space trying to save Alderaan's fucking rubble, and the Mon Mothma family death farm.
Family death farm.
Which, so now they know Mon Mothma's nephew is attached to rebels, so he's fucked. Which is more death than Mon Mothma has had ever.
Yes.
Bar none.
But you're skipping part about that with Mon Mothma here.
What's
The
that?
thing is, the stormtroopers have some bizarro idea that their normal orders are going to supersede Black Ops orders, and they turn on Vader going, no, we have to take this guy back to the Emperor.
You're thinking about it's not Black Ops orders. Their idea is that the Empire's orders outweigh Vader's, and theoretically they're right. The problem is Vader doesn't see it that way.
No, I mean, he says literally, an order off the Imperial Milnet supersedes this off-the-book action.
Yeah, it's like, I'm
So
sorry.
that's not perspective at all. That's what he said.
The Empire is in charge.
Yeah.
The Emperor calls the shots, but Vader does not care because he can choke you with his fucking mind.
And that's exactly what he does. And he rips the shit out of the entire squadron.
What I did not like, though, was at the end,
Yeah.
the lieutenant survived. And I get the creative aspect of it, but let's be honest, Vader kills that chick in 4 seconds. No, I'm not having any witnesses to this giant fuck up. All I really accomplished in this was I wandered off and found out Mon Mothma has dead family. Yay for me.
I'm not I'm not having as big a problem with the lieutenant living and getting promoted as you are. Because despite what they want to say, and despite what many, many books have done in the intervening years since Revenge of the Sith,
Right.
is that Anakin, at his very core, was all about being fair.
Okay, so you're
So
saying...
there is something. There's always been something tiny, bitty, itty left of him in there. It's been subsumed on any given occasion when he's on camera.
Right.
But
So you're saying she did her job, she didn't fuck him, so he lets her live.
yeah,
All right, I can kind of see that. I will actually give you a point. Revel in this moment. It may never happen again. So,
probably. Jackass. All right. Well, having established that, and I should probably get out while I'm ahead. Our last book of the evening, and we're right on an hour mark, so that's pretty good. Wow, he shot that demon right in the mouth. And it didn't really help at all. So, our last book is a perennial favorite of ours. Lobster motherfucking Johnson.
in which Lobster
Get
Johnson
the lobster!
takes on the world of demonically possessed professional wrestling.
Which is just mind-boggling to me.
If you take an evil Russian wrestler, an evil midget wrestler, a
The Russian
handgun,
bear and the devil dwarf, respectively.
dude, just so ridiculously awesome.
And you know, they have a match, and some blood is shed because it's wrestling. That happens. That's what happens. At the end of the match, though, they just start. The fucking dwarf just starts shooting into the crowd. Just pulls out.
That's
a
after
fucking
the Russian
pistol.
bear just snaps a ref's neck for fun.
Just pulls out a pistol and just starts shooting straight ahead. It's mind-boggling.
It is both awesome and bizarre in equal measure.
Now, after that, what happens is Peter Lorre and the mob boss get
Asian
together.
Peter Lorre.
Asian Peter. Look at him. He's Peter fucking Lorre.
He's Asian Peter Lorre. There's no disagreeing.
Nobody. Now, how many of our listeners know who the fuck Peter Lorre is?
Hopefully all of them.
Well, that would be nice. But seriously, I'm having doubts. Even if they've seen The Raven, they've probably seen it like 10 years ago. And they certainly haven't seen, what was it, The Man from Rio.
Good God. Little Steve McQueen action.
A little bit. Peter Lorre and Steve McQueen being badasses.
What's the one with him and Vincent Price? Like the comedic one where they're Undertaker's Tales of Terror?
Damn. You got me. I know exactly what you're talking about. I haven't seen it since I was a kid,
too.
man. That was on like Creature Double Feature and shit.
And Boris Karloff is Vincent Price's wife's father.
Yes.
Ends up poisoning him by accident.
So it's just amazing. The Russian bear and the devil dwarf just start rampaging around the streets. They get caught up by lobster, and there's shootouts, and there's banging things in the walls. There's cars running into fucking buildings.
You know what's cool is that at no point Lobster never gets self-referential. Like at no point he's like, "Oh, this was ridiculous." Like I'm fighting a wrestler. Like he always is like, "I'm in the middle of this and it's
played
awesome."
very, very straight. So he blows away the bear, who turns out to be, half bionic for fuck's sake.
Robo Wrestle Bear,
Which is kind of cool and kind of nutsy. And
just like Lobster Johnson.
Yes. They capture Devil Dwarf, who turns out to have like Frankenstein scars on his head.
Yeah, a little lobotomy dwarf.
When you see the next issue, you'll understand what those are all about.
They're not good, are they?
They are not fucking good. But it's great comics. And that marks me as done for the evening. I don't know about you, Mr. Reverend. What do you think? We got all. It's not even. Well, it's just 9:30.
I have one more thing to say.
What would you like to say?
Bless you, frackers!
And away. The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.